What's up, guys? This is part 2, I suppose, of the Rocky Linux video. And in this video, I'm going to demonstrate the migration from CentOS to Rocky. So as you can see, this is CentOS Linux 8. This is the latest version available. And Rocky's created a migration script that will convert your existing CentOS installation over to Rocky. So if I go here, I could show you a really quick example. I created a basic web server on this machine, and this is a virtual machine. But if I go over to my browser on my host and go here, you can see I can access it from my host. So let's also go ahead and show you here. I've installed NeoFetch previously, and it shows it is CentOS 8. So now what I have to do is download the script. I'll put a link down in the description to where you can find this, but again, keep in mind that this is still in the works and there might be bugs. It might not work properly depending on your setup. But here's the script, CentOS to rocky.sh. So I can go ahead and just save this, save it to my downloads, and then I'm going to go ahead and run it. So you have to run the script as sudo. So sudo sh CentOS to Rocky. So there's an error. So let's just go have a look. It's line 12. This line, which is just for log files. So I'm just going to comment that out because I don't really need the log file right now. And let's go ahead and run it again. It's thinking modules that are enabled, modules unsure how to handle. Do you want to resolve this? Yes, or continue? No. So I'm going to say no to continue. Just let it go ahead. That's something that you'll have to explore afterwards if you use them. Again, like I said, this isn't complete yet. It's not done yet. It's still in the works. So let's just go ahead and let it do its thing. So now what this is going to do is it's going to basically replace the CentOS repos with the Rocky repos, and it's going to reinstall everything. You can see there, total download size, 1.2 gigs. So we're going to let this do its thing and replace the entire system, and we'll go from there afterwards. So as you can see now, it's reinstalling 2,796 packages, but it only downloaded 1,402. And I'm not sure if you can tell, but there's been a couple that say downgrading, and most are saying upgrading and reinstalling. So it's lining up all the packages to match up with the versioning that the Rocky repos have. So some are the same, some are upgraded, some are downgraded. But in the end, this will make the entire dependency line of the entire distro line up properly and run as it should. Obviously, anything that's being downgraded right now is just a necessity, and it'll be upgraded in a future update. I think it's pretty brilliant how they've done this in a way that you're not having to wipe your system and reinstall it from scratch. You're basically just replacing the underlying base CentOS system with Rocky and leaving your files and whatever services you've installed, such as my web server, leaving all those in place in order to just slide over to another distribution. Now, of course, this isn't as dramatic as if you were to switch over to a Debian-based or Arch-based distro that use a different package manager, because this uses the same package manager, and it's essentially the same operating system as CentOS. It's just a matter of making sure all the package versions are the correct ones for the new Rocky distribution. All right, so the script finished, and I've got a message here at the bottom, unable to resolve argument container tools. Now, this isn't something that I'm using, but if it's something you use, maybe it might be an issue. And LLVM toolset and vert. So these look like things that just aren't handled at the moment. But again, like I said, this is very early in development. This is a very early script. I mean, even a few days ago, I wasn't able to run the script at all because it wasn't working yet, but it seems to be working now. So what I'm going to do now is reboot and see what happens. Okay, so we've got the grub menu here. The default option was Rocky. And as you can see, there's also CentOS and CentOS Stream. Now, the CentOS Stream was from when I first installed CentOS. This was actually a known bug that it just named it incorrectly. It wasn't actually ever CentOS Stream. It was just CentOS 8. So now I'm going to boot into the new Rocky Linux, which is the default, by the way. You don't have to select it. And we'll see what happens here. Okay, so here's the login screen. You can see it says Rocky Linux on the bottom. Logging in works. And we've got the branding, but my screen size did not stay. But you can see here in the About page, it says Rocky Linux 8.3. So let's go ahead and just change my display. Okay, I got my resolution back, and yeah, Rocky Linux 8.3. I'll just check something else here. I had previously installed NeoFetch, and it looks like it's still installed, and it says it's Rocky Linux 8.3. If I do sudo dnf update refresh, so we can see it's checking the Rocky Linux 8 repositories and not CentOS. And now the moment of truth. Let's see if my server is still running. It is. Yay. Okay. And the moment of truth again. Checking from my host to make sure I can still access it. Yeah, look at that. So I've replaced the distribution using the script, and the services remained intact. So this is exactly what was supposed to happen. So this is great. So now I'll say one last time, this is still early in the works, but it does seem to be working. So this is really encouraging to see. I'm really happy that it worked. Again, yes, it's a virtual machine, so you can go ahead and test it on a virtual machine. And what I did was I had a snapshot. So I made a snapshot before I ran the script, just in case it went wrong. Then I can revert back and try again. But in this case, it worked flawlessly, other than those 3 packages that it had errors with. But like I said, Rocky Linux is still a release candidate right now. The script is still being worked on, so there's still some work to do. But if you're running CentOS and you're wondering how you're going to migrate your existing server over to Rocky, well, this is how. Obviously, if you're doing this on hardware, do a full backup first in case things go wrong. But this is very, very promising. This is going to make the CentOS users' lives much easier if this just works across the board. It's pretty amazing. So I gotta say, hats off. Congratulations again to the Rocky Linux team. This is great work, and this is making life a lot easier for a lot of people. This is just fantastic. If you liked the video, click like. Don't forget to share it on your social media, and subscribe if you want more updates on Rocky Linux as well as other distros and how to do things in Linux in general. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, bash on.